Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and welcome to a brand new video where we're going to be doing a deep dive into the next season of Forza Horizon 4 updates and cars, as well as going over all the release notes on the update that actually just dropped today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Well, boys, y'all know what we got to talk about first. Y'all know we got to talk about the LFA. The LFA is coming, and it is incredible. I'm blown away by the fact that it's even here. I mean, the fact that we're even going to see Lexus in the car list again on the menu is super cool, to the point to where, like, all of these things that happened over the course of, like, you know, the past couple of years where everybody was like, oh, it's, you know, Toyota's never coming back, Lexus is never coming back, it's just a lost dream. Yeah. So we literally have the Supra, the AE86, and now we're about to have the LFA. So that's a thing. Also, before we move along too far, I do want to touch on a bit of an oddball car that's going to be dropping in the summer as well, and that is the Rover SD1, which is actually a car that I believe Clarkson drove in a very old Top Gear episode where they basically destroyed the thing. Like, they filled it with water, turned it into a fishbowl. I mean, it was super weird and a wacky car, but I'm sure that if you live in the UK, you'll identify with this car a lot more than people here in the US, because if you live in the US, we never got this car. This was a car that we never got. This was a car that we never had, but it's a super strange, weird, oddball car that I could see having some, you know, potentially some crazy engine swap options and upgrades. Now, we got to take a second to talk about the Lego Chiron. And you heard that right. The Lego Bugatti Chiron is actually making an appearance in Forza Horizon 4. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys how you're going to get it. But if you're not a Lego person, like, at all, and you have a problem with the fact that Lego is in Horizon 4, feel free to skip this part of the video. But basically, how the Lego Bugatti Chiron is going to work, owners of the Lego Speed Champions expansion pack basically can get this car by winning a new event that appears in the northeast of the map once they've unlocked the Master Builder house. Now, I personally think it's very cool that they're continuing to support the LEGO Speed Champions expansion and continuing to put some time into a expansion that was received in a mixed way, let's say. I mean, there are some people that absolutely love that expansion. They think it's great. They enjoy it a ton. And then there's some other people that are kind of more on the side of, like, why is this here? This didn't need to be here. I don't like it. But then again, a lot of the people that said, why does this need to be here? Why is it here and I don't like it? Actually sort of, a lot of them actually came around after they spent a little bit more time playing it and after they kind of got into the rhythm of it and actually realized that it was a really well-designed map, regardless of whether or not the cars were made out of Lego. One thing to mention about the Lego Chiron is that it's also featured in the monthly Rivals event, so you do still have a chance to drive it, even if you don't own the Lego Speed Champions expansion. Now, back to real-life cars. Now, this next car we're going to talk about is, it's nuts. It's basically the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro, which is an upgrade package on top of the normal Vulcan if you want to make your crazy Aston Martin track day car into an even crazier Aston Martin track day car. Now, I find it kind of odd that this is the car for winter, because winter is not the season where I would be expecting anybody to take out an Aston Martin Vantage AMR Pro. I mean, it's really about as far from a winter car as you can get, so I feel like it was a little bit oddly placed in the lineup there. But that's not to take anything away from the fact that it is an extremely cool car, and the fact that it's actually coming into the game is very welcome, at least in my eyes. I think that's a very welcome addition, and I think the fact that it's here definitely promotes the idea of bringing in more sort of off the beat, not necessarily weird cars, but cars that are kind of sort of off the beaten path, and maybe versions of cars that are already here, but slightly more special, because the older Forza games, if you remember Forza Motorsport 2, some of the special editions of cars that they had, or the rare editions of cars that they had, very cool stuff. So I'm really glad to see them, you know, kind of moving in that direction just a little bit. Another car that some members of the community were very excited about is this next one coming up, which is the 1994 Ford Supervan 3. Now, the Superfan 3 is another winter reward. It's actually a seasonal championship reward, and this thing is... I feel like there are going to be, you know, some very different schools of thought as to how this van is received. I feel like there are going to be people that are like, you know, maybe in their 30s that like that know about this thing, and they saw it, you know, when they were a kid, and they're going to go, "Oh my god, that thing's super cool. I need it." And then you're going to have your really young players that are going to go, "What is this? Why is it here? It's boring. I don't like it." So I feel like there's going to be a couple of different schools of thought on that van. But if you are in the camp that doesn't really know what it is, give it a chance, because I think it's going to be a really fun vehicle. I mean, I know for a fact that I have a lot of fun with the vans that are already in Horizon 4 because of, you know, because of all the crazy things you could do to them. So if it's a car that you're kind of on the fence about, I would say definitely give it a chance. At least, you know, try the seasonal championship, unlock it, and just see how it goes and see if you like it. And also, you know, we have no idea yet what, you know, the customization options are. We don't know yet what you're going to be able to do to it in terms of engine swaps or builds, or, you know, how much power you're going to be able to get out of it from like a turbo upgrade. So there are some things up in the air, but if it turns out to be a really, really crazy powerful vehicle, then it might have some, it might actually have some cool stuff to offer. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Eliminator, because today they made a bunch of updates to Eliminator, and I want to make sure I go over all of the cars that they added, because they've listed a bunch of them, because they've added new level 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 cars. And for level 2, they added the... By the way, before I go on, keep in mind that these cars that have been added have a police theme, so they are fitted with like police lights and everything, and some have, according to the release notes, some have extensive upgrades. I'm doing air quotes here. Extensive upgrades to give you the edge. So we have, for level 2, the 1959 Jaguar Mark II 3.8 and the 1966 Hillman Imp. For level 3, we have the 2010 Crown Vic and the 1996 Impala Supersport. For level 4, we only have one car, and that's the 2014 Golf R. For level 6, we have the 2012 Cayenne Turbo. For level 7, we have two cars, the RS6 Avant and the Alpha 4C. For level 8, we have one car, the Mercedes SLS AMG. For level 9, we actually have three cars, the M4 GTS, the Camaro ZL1, and the Lamborghini Aventador SV. As well as at level 10, we have one, and that is the Veyron Supersport. And remember, those are all going to have, all of them, all going to have police lights. Now, something else that is here in the release notes for this update that I found very, very interesting is universal share codes. Now, what is that? Well, you know the share code for a, say for example, like an event or a race or something. Universal share codes, basically they say share codes have been extended to liveries, tuning setups, and photos. Like with event blueprints, you can click the right thumbstick when browsing UGC content to view its share code and input codes when searching for a specific piece of content. So that's a really interesting sort of like subtle upgrade, I wouldn't really call it a fix, but like as far as like an update slash upgrade, it's a really cool like subtle thing that I feel like not necessarily a lot of people are going to use, but the people that are going to use it are definitely going to make a lot of use of it. Now, I could be very wrong, I could be very wrong when I say that not a lot of people are going to use it. Who knows? Like, a lot of people could end up using it. It could become like a very popular feature to use when sharing different pieces of content within the game. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on what you thought of this season's cars, what you thought of this season's upgrades, and updates, and what you thought about the cars that were added to Eliminator, especially because of the fact that they've been added with a police theme in mind, which I think that's super, super cool. I mean, I think the fact that they're adding, you know, themed cars to Eliminator at all, I think that's an incredible idea, because think about it. I mean, like, you know, you're trolling around the map, you know, acting as a cop, waiting around, like, behind a bush, waiting to, like, challenge somebody as they go by and hop out on them, get the jump on them. I think that's hilarious, and I think it would give a whole bunch of new opportunities for fun gameplay moments in Eliminator itself, because Eliminator, I mean, it definitely, in my eyes, hasn't gotten old yet. and it's a really, really fun mode to just hang out and goof off and have fun. And, I mean, yeah, you can only go in solo right now, and I would love to see something in the future where they maybe did, like, duos, but I don't know how they would pull that off. Who knows if they have something like that in the works or not. Like I said, I would love to see Eliminator duos at some point. I think that would be so much fun. But with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts on everything that I covered in the comment section down below. Things that you liked, things that you didn't like, things that you're excited about. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave it a thumbs up. Let me know, again, your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you're new around here and want to stay up to date on everything Forza related, Mud Runner related, sometimes Need for Speed related, we also touch on a little bit of like Need for Speed content occasionally. And if you want to stay up to date on any of that, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see all of you wonderful people in the next one. Talk to you guys later.